Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as promised, I am reviewing The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne, and this is the prequel to the Hunger Games series. So, you know, the Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. So anyways, yeah, let's get started straight off with the summary. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is talking about the president of Panem, or at least in this book he's not the president. In the Hunger Games trilogy he was the president, but he's not the president here. So this book is gonna like talk about his backstory and how he became so evil and etc. President Snow, or in here his name is just Coriolanus Snow. He lives in the capital of Panem with his cousin Tigress and their grandmother, because the rest of his family like all died in the huge war and stuff. And Coriolanus is going to be a mentor in the upcoming 10th Hunger Games, and Coriolanus is kind of like depending on this mentorship. Like if the tribute he's mentoring wins, then he's basically guaranteed a spot in the prestigious academy of the capital, and that can open the way for him to have a well-paying job, and then he can finally be like rich and etc. Because the Snows were actually supposed to be a really like wealthy, upstanding, elite family in the capital, and everybody still thinks that, but little do they know that actually they're not. They don't have a lot of money, and they're barely scraping by to make ends meet at their apartment. Like they have to eat really poor food and stuff like that. They don't have money to like get new clothes and things, so they have to like scrape by to make ends meet. And we've seen that in the beginning when Coriolanus needs like a fancy dress shirt the day of the reaping, when they're going to like watch and see who the tributes they'll get assigned are. And his cousin Tigress is like basically the genius of the family, and somehow manages to scrape up a really elegant and presentable shirt for Coriolanus to wear. And yeah. Okay, so of course when the reaping comes, Coriolanus figures out that he's going to get the District 12 girl tribute. And there's basically like no higher insult than that, because first of all, the people that come from District 12, those tributes, are usually the most malnourished, underfed kids. And basically he has a low chance of winning. But when he sees the tribute that he's going to get, everything changes. Lucy Gray has had a hard life of it. She's an orphan, but she's part of this group of traveling musicians called the Covey. And she may look young and innocent and sweet, but with her liking of ruffly rainbow dresses and singing. But in reality, she is just as sly and cunning as the next. Quickly, Lucy's voice begins to enrapture the crowd, like she is the fan favorite. And obviously this makes Coriolanus think that he's going to have a chance and turn things around to win this Hunger Games. But will being the fan favorite be enough for Lucy to win the Hunger Games? And Coriolanus still has enemies everywhere that are going to see him into some trouble. You'll have to find out what happens. The end of the non-spoiler summary. Okay, now, if you guys don't want any more spoilers, head down to the description and click the timestamp, and it'll take you forwards to the rest of the non-spoiler part of the video, where we'll talk about the morals of this book. So yeah, now if you want the spoilers, stick around. Let's get right into it. Coriolanus gives her this, like, they have to be really subtle about like what plans they have to make. Technically there aren't like a whole lot of rules yet, because the Hunger Games aren't the fully developed, strictly organized games that you'll find in the Hunger Games trilogy, but there are still some rules, or well, they're not like super set in stone. So Coriolanus kind of bends one by giving Lucy a compact. And this compact used to be like his mother's, and she would have like rose-scented powder in it. And Snow likes to breathe in the scent of this powder to keep him calm. Apparently the roses and the scent of his mother like just calm him whenever he's like stressed. So he takes the powder for himself and gives the compact to Lucy, and then gives her a little hint that she could use like rat poison, because the people at the Capitol are actually keeping the tributes, all the tributes, in the zoo, which is really weird. Yeah, so they have rat poison at the zoo because there are like rats there. So yes, they go into the Hunger Games. Lucy manages to stay out of sight for most of it, as tributes are slowly killed off one by one. And when she gets to the end, however, one of the people at the Capitol who helped make the games, and her name is Dr. Gall, she was the one who invented like the mutations or the mutts or whatever, that are the genetically altered animals that mix up the games. And so she invented these like snakes, and they're like all different colors, like pink and yellow and blue and etc. And like one of Coriolanus's fellow mentors had an unfortunate accident with the snake, which we won't talk about, and it's not like super necessary to the plot. So anyways, and apparently these snakes only, like, they're friendly to people whose scent they recognize. But of course, if you put these snakes in the arena, they are not going to recognize any of the tribute scents because they've never been around them before. And of course they're gonna like bite them and kill them with their venomous pus. But Coriolanus had a feeling that Dr. Gall had put the snakes in the arena, so he brought a handkerchief of his own, which also had Lucy's scent on it because Lucy handled the handkerchief. And he puts the handkerchief into the snake cage and like runs away basically. And then, so obviously the snakes would have gotten used to that scent. And so when they put the snakes in the arena, they definitely kill off a couple of the tributes, leaving just Lucy and a few of them left. So Lucy, however, like, he doesn't know if whether it's the snakes that knew her scent, kept them from attacking her, or whether it's because Lucy kept singing and apparently she was like hypnotizing the snakes or enchanting them or something, and they would just like follow her and stuff. So she manages to kill off the rest of the tributes, by leaving poison in food that some tribute just happened to unfortunately eat and die. And another one, like Lucy dropped a snake, or like threw a snake at him and he died, unfortunately. So now Lucy is the victor of the Hunger Games, and so Coriolanus is supposed to be like super happy, but when he comes out, one of the people at the academy, or his name is Dean Highbottom, which, yeah, it's really weird, but anyways, Mr. Dean Highbottom shows Coriolanus the handkerchief that they found in the snake cage, and the compact, which they grabbed off Lucy Gray as soon as she came out, and it had traces of rat poison in it, and they know it's Coriolanus's mother's, because, like, when Coriolanus's mother was still alive, everybody saw her handle the compact, etc., so they know it's hers. And also this napkin that Coriolanus used to sneak food to Lucy in. So, yeah, Dean Highbottom is pretty mad at Coriolanus, and tells Coriolanus that he will not eject him from the academy, but Coriolanus has to go to the peacekeepers, like, you know, in the districts. He has to become a peacekeeper. So they send him to District 12 as the peacekeeper, and guess what? Who he meets there? Oh, he meets Lucy Gray and the Kobe. And so technically, actually, Coriolanus and Lucy have had this kind of like attraction between the two of them, and so yeah, a whole lot of like personal drama plays out. But another noteworthy point is one of Coriolanus's friends, Suzanne, who was also a mentor in the Hunger Games, but unfortunately his tribute died. He got assigned to be a peacekeeper alongside Coriolanus. And you know, I'm just gonna say Snow instead of Coriolanus because that's so much easier. It just is. Okay, anyways, so yeah, Snow finds out that Suzanne is actually planning to help these rebels free a prisoner in the district prison and then escape with the rebels or something. He's kind of like torn between whether he should like turn Suzanne in or just like go with him, because Suzanne is supposed to be like his friend. And in the end, yes, Snow betrays Suzanne. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. And then after that happens, like Suzanne suddenly gets hanged. And this is where, oh my goodness. So this is where the Hanging Tree song comes from. Apparently Lucy Gray wrote this song and we see it turn up in the Hunger Games a lot, but it's really interesting to see the origin of this here, and also Snow's dislike of mockingjays, which you don't have the time to get into, but like Snow used a mockingjay, or like, no, sorry, Snow used a Jabberjay to turn Sejanus in, kind of like recorded Sejanus talking about his rebel plans, and then when the Jabberjay got sent to the headquarters, then obviously they heard the Jabberjay speak back the conversation, and then they knew that Sejanus was going to be a rebel. So then they hanged him, of course. And it was actually kind of unfortunate. I still want to know this, okay? Because like when they hanged Sejanus, like Coriolanus had to be there as a peacekeeper, and watch Sejanus get hanged, which is really unfortunate. But I don't know if Sejanus knew that Coriolanus had turned him in, or whether he just like got arrested and then got hanged. Like, I really want to know whether Sejanus knew that Snow turned him in. Oh my goodness, a great unsolved mystery. Actually, there's another one, but okay, anyways, let's continue. Now Lucy Gray decides to ask Snow if they want to like run away together and like build their own life apart from everybody else. And Lucy is like really accustomed to like fending for herself in the nature and etc. But quite frankly, Snow hates it. He wants like a life of luxury and ease in the capital. So anyways, when the invitation comes from like Dr. Gall, he receives the invitation to attend like officers' school in District 2, which is a much higher upgrade than District 12. So, however, he decides to run away with Lucy first. So they run, but as they get to this like old abandoned cabin and stuff, Snow is really rethinking his decision, and she leaves to go like look for some potatoes, leaving Snow alone to think. And he's like, he really knows that he hates this outdoor nature kind of life, just everything. And he decides he wants to go to District 2 to officer school, but he doesn't know how he's gonna tell Lucy that. So as he steps out the door, he's like looking for Lucy, but he can't find her. And then he's like thinking some more, and then he realizes that Lucy must have like found out that he was the one who turned Sejanus in, and she must like hate him for that. And so he's looking for her, hunting her down in the woods, and then he hears her singing the Hanging Tree song. Oh my goodness, it's so, anyways, the song itself was actually really eerie, like, anyway, so he's hearing her sing the song, but then all these mockingjays, like, in the forest pick it up, and they're singing it back, too, and then suddenly Coriolanus is so confused, like, where is, like, actual Lucy coming from, like, where is she singing the song? So he, like, opens fire and, like, is trying to, like, shoot the birds or, like, Lucy or whatever, but of course he doesn't know, like, if he hit her or not, so he's, like, either she's dead or she's still alive. And so he goes back to the base to head over to officer school in District 2. But apparently, like, the people flying him have orders to drop him off at the capital. So when he arrives there, he sees Dr. Gall, and Dr. Gall reveals that she actually sent him to the peacekeepers just to, like, teach him a lesson. And she reveals that he'll be able to start classes at the academy or the university. And she's, like, shocked, because that means, you know, he can get, like, a well-paying job and etc. And so anyways, like, Sejanus's family, like his parents, don't actually know that Snow betrayed Sejanus, and they actually like want to thank Snow for like being Sejanus's friend and stuff. So they're like helping the Snows, like paying off their apartment, you know, giving them food, etc. And paying for his tuition and everything. But Snow was just keeping all that a secret. And anyway, so yeah, we just end with like Snow now being like his almost evil self. Yeah, that's like the end. That's the end of the super spoiler summary. Let's head on over to worldviews. Welcome back, non-spoiler people. Yeah, let's jump straight into worldviews. So, as I said before in all my reviews of the other Hunger Games books, Suzanne Collins is not a Christian author as far as I know. I heard somewhere that she's like Catholic, but I don't know that for sure, so yeah, there's like no mentions of any religion or anything in this like world of the Hunger Games. Of course, there's like, you know, the whole oppose the rulers and you'll be killed, etc. So yeah, there's really not much of like a worldview here. And I guess, you know, that's the problem, like when there's no worldview, then people just go bazookas, and the Hunger Games happened. Okay, moving on to foul language. So there was one A word on page 28, and actually before I read it I knew that it was coming because like it was in a song, like, you know, words have, like, alternate lines have to rhyme, and so like when I read the word that was supposed to like rhyme with the A word, like it was sass, and I kept going. Like just the nature of the song, I knew that it was gonna be the A word. So yeah, A word on page 28. Other than that, there were no other bad words. There were mentions of like shut up or taking a piss, which, you know, I don't actually approve of. That's not really like bad words per se, those are just like crude language. So yeah. Other than that, I didn't find any other bad words or etc. Moving on to violence. So yes, this book does contain the Hunger Games too, so it's definitely quite violent, and there is pretty good description of like, you know, wounds and etc. Like there are definitely a couple different ways of like dying in here. So definitely don't recommend to anybody sensitive or super sensitive to violence. But yeah, pretty much the same level of violence as in a regular Hunger Games book. Okay, romance. So yes, there is some romance here. There's nothing inappropriate though. Two characters do kiss a few times, and that's and actually I thought one of the characters was like a pedophile or something, because the other character who he is like romantically involved with was portrayed as very like young in the beginning, because like, you know, she's wearing like she's wearing like a ruffly rainbow dress and is like singing and acting all innocent. So I don't know, for some reason in the beginning I thought she was like 10 or something, or like 10 or 12 or something, but then later it's clarified that she's like almost 16 or past 16, I can't remember. Yeah, so basically she's somewhere around 16, and then when I learned that the other guy was like 19, I was like, okay, that's much better. Like I thought at first the guy was like 20 or something, and then the girl was like 10, and I was like, no, what is this? But okay, yeah, they clarify it though. Okay, the girl is 16 and the guy is like 19, so that was better in my opinion. As for alcohol, there were definitely a couple scenes where like characters were like drinking and stuff. Characters did get drunk, and of course they were hungover the next day. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's alcohol prevalent in this book. Yeah, and that's it for the morals. So moving on to my rating recommended age level. I'm gonna rate this book 4 stars. The reason why I'm saying it like this is that because it's kind of tentative. I think I might change it to like 3.5 stars when I reread it, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, let me just get into my opinions of this book. So I liked it. I really did. It was a great storyline. I think like it gave us some really interesting insights into like why Snow is the way that he is in the Hunger Games. Like, you know, why he loves roses so much, why he hates mockingjays so much, how he became like evil, etc. So yes, I really liked all those points, and again, I just like Suzanne Collins' style of writing. It's very engaging in general. But now for the cons of this book. First off, the problem that I had was that the Snows are supposed to be like really poor and stuff. So they're supposed to like be really struggling to keep up with their apartment like bills and stuff, and like taxes and everything. And they're supposed to be like eating really poor food. Like in the beginning we do get them eating like cabbage soup, and like Snow is really complaining about how he has to eat cabbage soup and etc. But then sometimes like throughout the book, like they actually started eating like good food. Like started eating like roasted potatoes, like fresh vegetables, etc. Like you don't eat that stuff when you're like poor and you can only afford cabbage. So yeah, I just had like a problem with that. It's just not consistent throughout the book. Like sure, it would be one thing if Snow like won a bunch of money and then they could like buy all this food, but no, like they didn't win any money. Nothing happened like that. So I was really confused. Like how come all of a sudden they have the extra money to buy like potatoes and fresh vegetables and like, you know, meat and etc. when they're supposed to only have enough money to buy cabbage? Yeah, that was really weird. Anyways, so that's my first problem. Next problem was I just think there were a lot of unnecessary moral elements that could have been taken out and the book would have been just fine. Like, you know, the book could have done without the few mentions of, like, taking a piss. Like, the song could have been reworked to not have that A word in it. Yeah, there just could not have been, like, if you took out a lot of the drinking and stuff, I think the book could have been perfectly fine without it. But yeah, I just think that all that stuff was like unnecessary, and the book could have been reworked to be a perfectly good book without all that stuff. So yeah, those are my negative comments about it. So that's why I said I might change it to a 3.5 stars when I reread it the next time. But for now it's 4 stars. Like, I liked it, I really did. It was a good book. But yeah. And as for my recommended age level, I'm gonna say 13 to 14 plus, again, because of all of those various moral elements that I listed. I definitely think it's 13 to 14 plus for sure. So yes, again, parents, use your discretion based on my report of this book, and other people use your own noggin as well. So yes, overall, the bottom line is that I like this book. It could have been a whack ton better, but yes, I liked it in general. Actually, that's not for like a 3 stars. Like 4 stars would be like, I really liked it, but there's this one small thing. 5 stars is like, oh, I loved it so much, I'm in love with it. There was like no fault with this book whatsoever. So maybe it should be a 3.5 star. I don't know. I'll keep it a 4 stars for now. Even when I reread it, maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have not subscribed or hit that like button yet, please do right now. And yes, I'll see you guys all next week. But also let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see some more like everyday life vlog type of things in the summer, because right now my summer is definitely pretty busy. I have a whole lot of camps planned. I'm attending a bunch, and like volunteering at a bunch, and like teaching a bunch, etc. So I'm gonna be really busy in the summer, and hopefully I'll have time to like either like do a recording marathon and like record tons of videos, or I can just do some more everyday vlog type of things. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!